Ask yourself this: how come when you obtain a driver's license, you are mandated to take courses, but when you receive a credit card for the first time, you're not given any type of formal training on how to use it responsibly? Your credit score follows you your entire life. Let me share with you 3 tips for using a credit card responsibly. These tips will help you live a financially fit life. Hi, I'm Katie MacDonald, and welcome back to Financially Fit with Katie. Before we jump into everything, please, if you have not subscribed already, please do so. And also, if you can comment, like, and share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much. So with that, let's get started. So first off, when you're first applying for a credit card, you want to know what the terms of the card are and then any specific details. So, what is the interest rate? That might seem like a very basic question and like, Katie, why, how, I would know what that is. I meet with clients doing financial planning. We are looking at their cash flow, and if there are balances, I'll ask, well, what is the interest rate of the credit card that you have, or credit cards? And more often than none, they cannot tell me. The one time that they can is usually if it's on a 0% transfer type of a card. But even with that, if I say, well, when does that 0% balance transfer expire? They cannot tell me. So it's important to look at these and know what they are. Next, you want to know, are there any types of hidden fees? If you miss a payment, are they going to charge a late payment fee? Do they have, will they allow you to go over your credit limit? And if they do, are they going to charge you an over the limit fee? That's very important to look at because that can really cause harm later on, especially if there is a balance and now you're trying to pay it off and you're getting hit with additional fees, and before you know it, your minimum payment isn't even bringing it back down. So you want to know that. And then look to see are there any rewards or incentive programs associated with the card. The one thing that I want to note on that is if you are getting a credit card because you want to get, say maybe it's travel points, or Disney has cards and they can give points on trips to Disney. Those are great if they're used as kind of an incentive, but you want to make sure that you're not fully trying to get your airplane tickets by using the reward points. You want to make sure that you are really planning for those goals. You want to make sure that you have separate accounts set up for that and that you're putting that within your budget. Because if you're not, and I have seen this time and time again, you will be overspending. You'll be buying things that you don't necessarily need, and that trip to Disney is going to cost you a heck of a lot more than if you just were saving for it outside of. So I just like to point that out because I do see that, and that can become a problem. So the next is make sure that you're paying off the balance monthly. The best way to be able to do that is if you're just starting out and you are looking to get your first credit card, maybe you're in college, and it will be good to have a card in case of emergencies. You can go to a credit union or a local bank and establish a credit card that has a very small balance. And with that, make sure that you have an outside account, savings account, or maybe it's another checking account. Make sure you have enough money that is set up in that savings that can cover that balance so that you're not finding yourself constantly at that maximum or credit limit and that you can't pay that off. That will really impact your credit because of how they look at credit. Credit is based on available credit to what your credit limit is. So if you've got a balance or credit limit of 500 and it's always at the 500 max and you're paying just the minimum, you're gonna negatively impact your credit. So you want to make sure that you set yourself up for that. And then also make sure that you have a budget. Do you know what's coming in every month for your income? Do you know how much you have available to spend on whether it's your fixed expenses or your discretionary and living expenses, you really want to know. You need to plan for these things because otherwise you can really get yourself into credit card trouble. Now, if you're not able to pay the balance off monthly, maybe you have, accumulated some credit card debt and you have a number of cards. Great way that I like to have clients pay that off. First, I want you to get a notebook. I want you to write out what the balances are for each card, what the interest rates are, and what the minimum payments are for each of them. I also then want you to look at your budget and look to see how much you can apply towards the debts. And I want you to focus on paying off one card at a time. I like going after the smallest balance. So you'd want to try to maybe double or triple up that payment and then just pay the minimum on everything else. When that balance is paid off, then you want to take that payment and apply it onto the next one to what you were paying, and that really creates a snowball effect and you'll see them paid off. And then what I want you to do is make sure you keep the cards open because we don't want to impact your credit, but we want you to only be focusing on, if you're using one, use it for just the expenses that you know that you have, and keep it to an amount that you can pay off monthly, because that will be, the best way to utilize and not pay any extra type of interest or fees. And lastly, build your credit responsibly. As I said before, your credit is going to follow you throughout your entire life. And you might not be thinking about that when maybe you're a high school senior and you get a credit card, because I know they do offer them, because that's when I got my first credit card. And I will tell you, I ran into credit card problems in college and had to go to my parents. And so again, even with these videos, I want to be able to share information with you like that so that you don't find yourself into that same problem. So you might think, all right, well, it's a small balance and I'm going to get it. And hey, oh, you know what? I missed paying last month, but you know what? I'm going to pay next month and I'm going to double up what I owe. That one missed payment can really negatively impact your credit, and it will be tough to get yourself out of that. And now, if you're adding in other expenses that you have, it's really important to instill these positive factors of making sure that as you start off, that you are building the credit responsibly, because later on in life, when you go to buy a car or you look to purchase your first home, you want to have that good score. That is going to give you the more favorable interest rates, and that's going to really allow your money to work harder for you. You do not want to get stuck into a position where you're having to pay much more than you would have if you were, being more responsible as you started to take on credit and debt. So I hope that you found these tips helpful. If there are any questions, if there's anything I can do for you, my info is in the description box, or add a comment and we will absolutely get back to you. Again, if you have not subscribed to my page, if you could do so, that way you will be notified of all the videos. And then also like and share. That will help us a lot as I start, to put out more videos that are meant to help you to become more confident in your finances and within your life. So until next time, everyone, stay safe, be well, bye.